We're back with What Remains of Edith Finch. I almost said What Remains of Life is Strange then for some reason. I'm I'm meshing between games here. But yeah, we've oh gosh, how many? Well, it actually says that, doesn't it? Been through about 4 of the members. Not Edith herself. It's kind of weird that she's drawn there. She only really draws people down once she's been through the story. So, oh, I guess she's right now because technically this is her story as well. But yeah, we have, oh gosh, we have Edie, Sam, Walter, Dawn, Gus, Gregory, Milton, and Lewis. So that's that's 8 more people to go through. Kay, Sven, Sanjay, they don't count because they weren't born into the family. They were married into it, so they're not part of like the whole family curse sort of thing that's been going on. Yeah, I'll be waiting 5 minutes to start the game to see if anyone shows up. If not, then like usual, I'll just start and just do regular sort of commentating on things until someone joins, or just throughout if no one joins. Haven't really had to do that though yet, because normally like at least one person seems to join, but you know, who knows. Now I've said that, probably no one will know. But yeah, gonna wait for a little bit. Guess I could talk a little bit about the Finches that we've been through. So yeah, Odin. I guess he's the one that kind of started off the whole said curse thing. He died by, well, he was trying to move his house, which is kind of strange, moving an entire house like across the ocean. But yeah, there was a big wave or something that overturned the boat with the house on. He kind of refused to go. His daughter Edie kind of left with her husband and their daughter Molly. But yeah, Odin refused to leave the house, so he kind of like, I guess, possibly drowned or maybe got hit in the head or something from a collision of some kind, possibly. And then the other ones, so yeah, Molly, she pretty much died by food poisoning. Because you can either eat toothpaste or the Jupiter berries, both things that, you know, you should really shouldn't eat and have some poisonous quality. So she pretty much died by that, though she had this really weird imagination, because in her story you play through all these different animals that are really hungry, because she was really hungry at a moment in time. Very bizarre child. And yeah, you got Calvin was the next one. He died because he wanted to, I guess, try and fly, so he tried to do a loop-de-loop around the tree with the swing that he was on, and it flung him off basically over a cliff, so he died by that. So not a nice way to go. Bit dumb, but hey ho. Oh gosh, I just noticed he kind of died 1 year after Barbara died. God, that must have been really hard for Edie, the mother. It's very close to when 2 of her kids, well, I mean 3 of her kids died pretty soon. Actually, no, she had a decent run through, like after Molly. I mean, another, well, 13 years or so without any deaths, but it's not too bad compared to, you know, the 1 year gap there. Yeah, then Barbara, the most recent one, she basically got murdered by a bunch of people. I'm still not completely sure what the hell happened. I mean, they said they didn't find like a body or something apart from just like one of her ears, which is disturbing enough as is. But yeah, I guess she would be dead or something, but still really not nice. That's probably the worst one actually, because none of the others get murdered. They die by, like, everyone dies by completely different things. Just very tragic stuff though. Yeah, that's probably the worst one though, as Barbara's though, because yeah, she did get murdered. Gang murdered. Yeah, it's been 5 minutes now, so yeah, I'll just continue. Gosh, I have to remember to play now.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
Oh yeah, the music box. Okay. Textures loading. I just have to go into the basement. Oh, I think I know who's next then. I think it's Walter. Weird little trick. Edith does move like really slowly in parts though. Gosh. I think the game hasn't like completely loaded itself yet. Ah, Sven. Yeah, he's the one that died.
Mom said the basement was off limits. Unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
Oh. That's the slide that basically killed him. Really, really big shame. Even though he wasn't like born into the family stuff, he died by a tragic way as well, which is kind of strange. Oh, he's the one that cut all these out feet. Edie. Yeah, I guess they were expecting a lot of death then, weren't they? Rightly so.
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
This one is coming through. God, it looks so dark and everything.
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Yeah, Walter moved down to here. Yeah, he trains a lot. Oh boy. Yeah, he decided to go into an underground bunker. He lived for quite a decent amount of time though, I'd say.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave. Well, I still can.
It's sad that I'm eating the same thing over and over and over again and staying here for like 30 years, never going out. It's really sad.
I know it's out there, somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara and Molly and Calvin. Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left.
You can already see how it's gonna die.
Or a single week. I'd be happy with one real day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
He didn't get very far at all.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here. I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
Get a little fake window.
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made.
It's quite gross. All the rubbish there. I'm guessing it probably really smell.
Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe two, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
on it because he liked trains. And he died by a train. Is dark now. Oh, that's where the house was.
I don't know if I should even be writing this.
Okay.
Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me.
Automatic lights.
But I thought you should know about your family. And the history you're a part of. Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth.
House does look so unsafe though.
And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible.
Yeah, that's where Sven was. Yeah.
I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house?
I mean, that is a good question.
It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils are mine, and 2 had been my fault.
Oh. There's a lot of dead pets. Is it Derpy Jr.? Burpy, Chirpy, Burpy, Lurpy, Zerpy, jeez. Who's meant to be... Yeah, I'm guessing this is the gerbils, isn't it? Zoe, Coco, Tucker, Charlie, Daisy, Lucy. One of the more ones. Oh, there was a rabbit called Oliver. Scatsy. Interesting. Shadow. Christopher. Bob the dog. And Bailey. Oh, and a frog. Which the sign's been knocked down.
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
Molly. Oh. She got a little kitty. Calvin, yeah, well that's fitting. Sven, yeah, carpenter. Oh, Edie. Guess that's because of all her stories. Walter. Rock. Oh, I can look in there. I know I did this before. That's cool. Didn't know I could do this. 1 second. I guess that's because of where he died. Yeah, Barbara, of course, the star. Hollywood star.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away.
I mean, you can move on from the past, but don't forget it. That's quite sad. Oh, that's meant to be Molly. Ben and Edie.
She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
Yeah, it looks very wrecked.
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better.
Gregory Finch. Sam Finch. Gus Finch. Sam's Edie's mum, Edith's mum's father, like, so Edith's grandfather. And then Edith's mum's called Dawn, so Dawn's brother's Gregory, the little baby, and then Gus died, like 13? Yeah, I think 13. Died young.
She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us.
Milton.
We never found Milton's body, so my mom insisted we were putting up a monument, not a tombstone.
A little painting one. Sanjay, oh that's Edith's dad. He died actually quite young as well. Relatively young anyway. Lewis, why has he got... Very sad. All of it's sad, really.
There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself. But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Yeah, Gilly's pregnant. Especially that's dangerous. So dark though.
I never
She's
met
supposed to
Grandpa
be-
Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common.
That's the sounds from... Yeah, Edith must have been here a while for it to get this dark this quick.
They were both pretty intense. Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
It looks very cute. Okay. I think that was his wife. Yeah, Sam was a hunter and was in the army. Or the Marines, sorry. That's just pretty much the same thing, isn't it? Oh, I think that was for Calvin. Yeah. Damn, that is pretty sad. That's him and Dawn.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime. Perfect.
Am I gonna have to shoot anything? It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
Aw. You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee.
Hey!
That's a keeper.
It's quite sweet, but sad.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Dawn, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Last time I was with my brother Calvin.
Dad!
Good eyes, Dawn. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad, I...
Just breathe. Turn off your imagination. Focus on your
Sad.
target. Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong.
Yeah, but she doesn't need to do this.
Now keep yourself squared up. Great shot, Dawn!
I don't blame her.
I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay?
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally
some-
normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about—
Dad!
Yep.
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
It's like don't do trophy hunting. It's just unneeded. For food, understandable, but trophy hunting, Especially when you said
After
"Do I
Sam
really have to do
died,
this?"
my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Oh. Gregory. Oh, it's like he's got a little Pac-Man, I think. It's either a Cheeseville or a Pac-Man. Anyway. He looks so happy. Oh gosh, what does it say? It's a lawsuit. Oh. divorce. Right.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
It's quite sad. I mean, you can already tell pretty much what happens and just by looking at the situation.
Watching over, Gregory. It's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
I wonder what he saw. What his world was like. You reminded me so much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination.
Music.
I know how silly it sounds. That I worried about a baby being too happy. I could feel him slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it. Hold on, I don't want
I wish he could have told us about the world he saw. There's so much I don't understand about Gregory. About everything. But I know what happened wasn't your fault. I'm sure he's happy. He'd want you to be happy too.
Basically
Good
died
luck,
by
Kay.
drowning.
Love, Sam.
Poor Gregory. Dawn's bed was moved. I mean, yeah, she would have had to sleep next to two dead brothers, so it wouldn't be very nice. Yeah, Gus.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet
Gus was a little punk. The little bracelets and all. He like kites.
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard.
After the divorce.
My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom, were the words that I
now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss
Well educated.
bride.
the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to
Come here.
But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger. The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent. The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder." I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't, until we found you.
By the gazebo.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
House rules. No playing outside without permission, no answering the door for strangers, no messes after dark, all chores before dark, respect others. It's all fair. Praise the flag. Okay. Breakfast, quiet time. Duties, dawn, sweep, trash, gas, mop, mow yard, Gregory, be a baby. Yeah, that's fair, you can't really do much else. But that looks so spooky. Especially like the fog and all. Gosh. It's like the only way up.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get.
It's kind of cruel making us sleep in the same room as, you know, dead brothers.
Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
Cute little bed.
She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Very sweet. Flight to India. That's quite adorable.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Louis was born a year later.
She moved away from this place. Damn.
When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back.
Oh, they have their little
And to see
garden.
kids in the house again.
Maybe it's just the house that's cursed. Probably. Little figures. It's cute. Edith. Some sort of flowers. Milton. We just painted a load of things. I mean, that's fair. Lewis. Oh, he's good. Mint, fine, sage, basil, dawn. Just had a bunch of different things. At least like Lewis was more organised.
The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And For a while, things were good. Almost normal. But it didn't last.
It's cute, they had their little schoolroom. Edith. Lewis rules. Oh. Why no Chef Milton though? Was he too young or something? I don't think so. Oh, our family history, fact or fiction. That's cute. I guess like the mum teach them because she was like a teacher. Edith Finch by Edith Finch. The Curse. Myth. History. Could learn a lot about the family then. Oh, poor family.
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle. After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
What the hell happened to him? That's what I still don't know.
I think Edie was happy to finally have another painter in the family.
Yeah, it's good. This is a castle. Really sad though, because it's like, what if he is still alive somewhere? Don't really know.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
Oh. Okay. Oh, okay. I got it. Very neat and clever. This kid has talent. Oh my gosh.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
It's like, what, did he actually disappear for a painting?
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
It's like he really wanted to go to a castle or something. Yeah, something about this door. And there's the footprints. Very strange.
Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out. Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery. Everyone always told me to stay out of Lewis's room. Except Lewis.
There's like a bong in there. Weed paintings. Honestly, this entire upper area looks so unsafe.
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Probably the weed smell. But damn. Pretty awesome paintings, though. I think he was very hippie. Definitely. Hey!
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
That's cool. Yeah, VHSs. Oh, there's his TV. Okay, that's quite a big TV. Because they would just sit back there. God, it's one of his balls. Oh my god, he had 2 monitors as well.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery. But he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander.
Oh, yep, there you go.
I asked him
Take
to
2 things at
describe
once.
it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head.
It's freaky.
But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery.
I have to control, like, this little...
I spoke with his boss.
And then shopping while cutting
But he
fish
said
head
Lewis
off.
had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on.
Bad idea. Oh,
I
yeah,
even
yeah.
encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. but his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination, so he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor, and he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him.
I mean, it's a pretty impressive game.
He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis, until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on.
But yeah, should have gotten a job at something. A place like this. Especially if he's in this condition.
In Louisburg, he heard rumors of
the Queen. Beautiful Prince, handsome Queen.
handsome queen.
Very interesting viewpoint.
The queen was on her own quest for
Oh gosh, am I doing the rainbow one?
radiant rainbows.
Just the crystal rainbows. Oh my gosh. Oh, so cheery.
He followed the sound of her
Oh god, I left it over that one. Oh, silver harp.
silver harp. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound.
Oh gosh, I can't even see the chopper now.
He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king.
This is the most interactive story out of all of them.
For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Louis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
Reality now. There's a lot of blood in this place.
He began to forget the world we know.
This is his locker. Shiny thing. It's like a deep toe DS.
I think it pained him to remember Louis, the cannery worker.
A lot of dead fish. It's quite gross, actually.
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
Wait, is it on? Kinda. He's still doing it even though... Oh dear. That's one possible.
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising me. His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head. I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Literally only Dawn and Edie and Edith to go, really.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie.
Oh, that was mean.
I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder.
Harder.
I wish we'd stayed.
It's not fair on Edie, really. Really,
but I understand why we left. My mom ended up leaving everything behind.
Yeah, literally everything. Seems a bit bizarre.
What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner.
Did I miss anything? No, I don't think I did.
But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
I think because it links. Edith's room.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house.
She's right.
Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
Jeez, Dawn's a bit of a bitch, to be honest. I guess she's
Dear
scared, but
Edith,
dear.
there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around. I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. When I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them.
First house.
Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone.
Pretty much we died of a broken heart or something.
After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it. But she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is.
Okay.
This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you. And tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
There is. Hey, there you go. That's the end of Remains of Edith Finch. It's a really sad game, but it's pretty beautiful and it's nice to kind of go through. And yeah, see, I completely jinxed myself. I said, like, do you know what, this is gonna be the one time, like, when no one actually ends up showing up and no one did. Or, like, I think someone did, like, for, like, a split second or so. But, hey, oh well. It was kind of, like, really late and things, because I had to change things last minute for reasons doing the stream, but oh well. Next stream will be on Monday, most likely. So yeah, back to original schedule again. Just this week hasn't been so good. Yeah, to know about any sort of updates if I do actually end up cancelling a stream, things, and what time I'm starting them. Just if you have Twitter, check my Twitter out, because that's where I put all the updates, because I can't exactly post anything on YouTube because I don't have access to those sort of things, unfortunately. But yeah, Twitter would be the only way I can really kind of update everyone. So yeah. But this game, yeah, it's good. I do like all the the little different kind of mini games they have for each of the characters, all the little visual stuff that goes on with them. But it is kind of ironic, a lot of their deaths, because they kind of link to something about them. A lot of them do, anyway. Link to an interest, mainly. Such as, like, Gus's, he died by, like, a gazebo flying at him, but that was to do with his kite, you know, one of his interests. Walter died by a train. He liked trains. Calvin died by, you know, trying to fly, and he wanted to be an astronaut and things. Barbara died from, I guess, technically fans. You know, because she's trying to get her lucky break, and then... Oh yeah, Sam, he died from hunting, you know, one of his interests, by getting knocked off the edge by a deer. And Milton disappeared, something to do with his paintings, and then Lewis got lost in his imagination, and yeah, did that whole thing. They're good stories. Yeah, for future viewers, thank you loads for watching. Hopefully next time I'll get like some live viewers. Alright, see you guys.